It's no secret that the Biden administration has been trying to get some help to first-time homebuyers. I'm Mike Ferrossi for Super Loans. It's April 1st of 2022, and this is an update video. We'll touch on all six of the federal first-time homebuyer programs, go over what they are, who would qualify, and where they stand in the process. And I know April 1st video releases are always a bit skeptical, but none of this is a joke, promise, no matter how much it may sound like one. A quick note before we get into this, it's important to know that bills don't have to become law. All bills need to pass a Congress vote, then a Senate vote, and be signed off by the president before that happens. And as of now, none of these programs have done that, and there's no timetable on if or when they will. Okay, we're breaking these programs into two main categories: tax credits and grants. Let's talk about the tax credits first. There are two bills that propose a fully refundable federal tax credit of up to $15,000. Those bills are the First-Time Homebuyer Act of 2021 and the DASH Act. The two programs have slightly different income and purchase price requirements, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Everything about a bill could change before it's passed, so we'll review those details in a future video if one of these bills is making good progress. The most important thing is that if you're a first-time homebuyer, meaning that you haven't owned a home in the 3 years leading up to your purchase, you could qualify. The tax credit is fully refundable, and you'd receive it as an extra $15,000 added to your federal tax return, or offsetting the amount you owe when you file your federal income taxes. The First-Time Homebuyer Act of 2021 and the DASH Act were introduced to Congress in April and September, respectively, of 2021. Even though these have been waiting around for a while, neither of them have been voted on, and there's no timetable on when that's actually going to happen. The next bill is a bit of a wild card. It's not a tax credit or a grant. The Uplifting First-Time Homebuyers Act of 2021 would raise the amount you can early withdraw from a tax-exempt retirement account, like a 401k, without paying a penalty. You can currently take out $10,000 penalty-free to buy your first home. This program would raise that amount to $20,000. It's a good idea. This bill was introduced to Congress in June of 2021, and it's seen the same movement as the two tax credit bills. None at all. And it's still waiting for a vote. Are you beginning to see a trend here? Moving to our grant programs. The Down Payment Toward Equity Act of 2021 and the Housing is Infrastructure Act of 2021. I don't know where they get these names, but I'm just reading you what they put on the top of the bill. They both propose a down payment grant of up to $25,000 for first-time, first-generation homebuyers. Again, some slight differences in the details, but if you're buying your first home and your parents or legal guardians don't own a home, you could qualify. These grant funds would be given at closing, be applied directly to your home purchase, and be used for down payment, closing costs, or any other expenses included in the transaction. That's a lot of money. That covers most people's down payment and closing costs. This is huge for first-time, first-generation home buyers, and these bills were introduced to Congress in April and July of 2021, respectively, and you guessed it, still haven't been voted on. Last, but definitely not least, is another proposed grant program. The Build Back Better Act is a huge piece of legislation. Literally, this thing's over 2,400 pages long. And in the mid-800 page range, we come to a topic called First Generation Down Payment Assistance. It sounds familiar for good reason. It's pretty much a copy-paste of the Housing is Infrastructure Act of 2021 with two main differences. The first difference is that this grant caps out at $20,000 for first-generation homebuyers, first-time first-generation homebuyers. It doesn't go up to the $25,000 maximum like the other bills do. The other difference is that this bill made some progress. The Build Back Better Act was introduced in September of 2021, and it passed on a House vote in November. Great stuff! On to the Senate, right? Not quite. Not yet. Anyway, the next day, there was a motion to reconsider, and that's where it sits. Waiting. Like all the other ones. 6 great programs. Waiting. 15, 25, possibly $40,000 for some to buy their first home with. Just waiting. Unfortunately, your April of 2022 update on this stuff is no update at all. Everything has been sitting stagnant since November, and there's no timetable on when any of these bills will move forward. Listen, I don't have all the answers here. I've been reporting on these programs since they were just a promise made on the campaign trail. Heck, this is my 20th video on this topic. The other 19 are on a different channel, but I've published more videos on this topic than anyone else on YouTube, maybe anyone else on the internet. And the waiting, it's getting frustrating. And that's just for me. I'm not even in the market to buy a home, so I can't imagine how all of you first-time homebuyers out there feel about this. Just know that you're not alone. We're here for you. I get it. And there are many others in the same boat as you are. And just in case you didn't know already, you only need 3% down to buy a house in the first place. So if you're one of the many who thought it took a 20% down payment, you might actually be ready to stop playing the waiting game right now. Check out superloans.com for a great rate and a simple pre-approval.
NMLS 237341. There. That should make the lawyers happy.
As always, feel free to leave something in the comments, questions, statements, if you just need to vent about this for a bit. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I'll personally reply to you. If you found value here, consider subscribing to our channel. It's brand new, so you'd be our 3rd loyal viewer, but check out some of our other videos. We're putting out some really good stuff. Again, I'm Mike for Super Loans, where great rates have never been so simple. And we'll talk to you next time.